Hollywood fame is a dream, but for some, it turned into a nightmare. Once celebrated on red carpets and living in luxury, these 20 stars fell from grace in the most heartbreaking ways, some losing it all and ending up on the streets. From award-winning actors to chart-topping musicians, their transformations are shocking. You won't believe what they look like today. These aren't just cautionary tales. They're raw, real reminders that fame is fragile, and in the blink of an eye, fortune can vanish. This video reveals the untold stories behind the spotlight and the struggle that came after it faded. Dana Plato was once the face of America's sweetheart. Born on November 7, 1964, in Maywood, California, she captured hearts as Kimberly Drummond on the hit sitcom Diff'rent Strokes during the late 70s and early 80s. With her radiant smile and effortless charm, Dana became a household name, a symbol of innocence and teen stardom. But behind the scenes, the spotlight was far harsher than it looked. Like so many child stars, Dana struggled to transition into adulthood once the cameras stopped rolling. Acting roles dried up, bills piled up, and the fame that once lit up her world became a shadow she couldn't escape. She battled addiction, faced arrests, and even experienced periods of homelessness. The girl who once lit up living rooms across America was now fighting to survive in silence. Dana made genuine attempts to turn her life around, seeking sobriety, doing interviews, and trying to reconnect with fans. But the cycle of pain and public scrutiny proved relentless. On May 8, 1999, just a day after a hopeful radio interview, Dana died from a fatal overdose of prescription pills. She was only 34. Her death, ruled a suicide, left the world stunned and mourning a life that never truly got the chance to bloom. Dana Plato's tragic story is more than just a cautionary tale. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the toll early fame can take and the critical need for mental health support for young performers. Behind every child star is a child who still needs protecting. Erin Moran, born on October 18, 1960, in California, became a beloved household name thanks to her role as Joni Cunningham on the hit show Happy Days. With her bright smile and relatable charm, she quickly became one of America's sweethearts, her face a familiar comfort on television screens across the nation. But once the spotlight dimmed, Erin's life took a heartbreaking turn. After the series ended, she struggled to find steady work, faced financial hardship, and eventually lost the support of the Hollywood community that once embraced her. In 2010, headlines broke that she had been evicted from her home, a painful symbol of just how far she had fallen from her days of stardom. She endured a tough divorce and battled alcoholism, quietly fading from the public eye. Her final years were spent in relative obscurity, far from the lights that once lit up her career. Then, in 2017, the world was stunned to learn that Erin had passed away at just 56 years old from complications of stage 4 throat cancer. Her death was a sobering reminder of the quiet battles many stars face behind closed doors. For fans, she was more than just a character on a sitcom. She was a symbol of youth, laughter, and resilience. Erin Moran's story is a touching reminder that fame can be fleeting, but the courage to keep going leaves a lasting legacy. Jan Michael Vincent. He was once Hollywood's golden boy, with piercing blue eyes, rugged charm, and a screen presence that couldn't be ignored. Jan Michael Vincent lit up the 1970s and early 80s with breakout roles in The Mechanic and Hooper, holding his own alongside legends like John Wayne and Burt Reynolds. He became one of the highest-paid actors on television thanks to his starring role in Airwolf, cementing his place as an action hero of his era. But behind the fame and fast cars was a man slowly unraveling. Vincent battled demons that no director could tame, years of substance abuse, arrests, and a storm of personal turmoil that chipped away at both his career and his health. By the early 2000s, the star who once graced magazine covers was living on the streets of California, broke, homeless, and barely recognized. A devastating leg infection led to the amputation of his right leg, and yet even in that darkness, there were flickers of quiet resilience. He sought help, faced his pain, and continued living, not as a star, but as a man trying to survive. Jan Michael Vincent passed away on February 10, 2019, at the age of 74 from cardiac arrest in Asheville, North Carolina. His final years were marked by silence, but his life remains a haunting reminder of the cost of fame and the fragile, often forgotten humanity behind the Hollywood spotlight. Leif Garrett, born on November 8, 1961, in the heart of Hollywood, became a teenage heartthrob almost overnight in the 1970s. With his golden boy looks, catchy pop hits, and smooth dance moves, he was plastered across bedroom walls and magazine covers across America. But behind the spotlight, Leif was battling demons far darker than the public ever knew. Struggles with addiction, legal troubles, and personal heartbreak haunted him as he tried, time and again, to reclaim his place on stage and screen. Though he made sincere efforts to get clean and rebuild his career, the road was long, and the shadows of his past weren't easily outrun. Still, his journey is one of resilience. For fans who grew up idolizing him, Leif Garrett's story is a bittersweet reminder of the thrill of young fame, the pain of its fallout, and the courage it takes to keep going. His life remains a cautionary tale and a testament to survival against the odds. Lonnie Willison, once a rising star with striking beauty and a promising career, seemed to have it all. Best known for her brief but memorable role on Baywatch and her appearance in the film Exposed, she graced red carpets and magazine spreads in the early 2000s. Born on October 30, 1969, in Los Angeles, she was no stranger to the glitz of Hollywood. But behind the flawless photos and glamorous events, Lonnie was quietly battling demons that fame couldn't silence. After a painful divorce from actor Jeremy Jackson and a growing struggle with mental health, her world slowly unraveled. By 2015, the unthinkable had happened. Lonnie was living on the streets of Los Angeles, invisible in a city where she was once admired. A physical injury only deepened her hardship, making steady work or shelter nearly impossible. Her story is not just one of loss, but of stark reality. It's a haunting reminder that homelessness and mental illness don't discriminate. They can touch anyone, even those once adored by millions. In recent years, Lonnie has bravely spoken out about her experiences, using her voice to spotlight a system that too often turns its back on the vulnerable. Her journey is heartbreaking, yes, but also courageous. Through her pain, she continues to shine a light on the desperate need for compassion, mental health support, and the dignity of a second chance. Margot Kidder was more than just the face of Lois Lane. She was a symbol of strength, vulnerability, and defiance in the face of adversity. Born on October 17, 1948, in Yellowknife, Canada, she rose to fame in the late 1970s as the spirited, sharp-tongued reporter opposite Christopher Reeve in the iconic Superman films. Her portrayal of Lois wasn't just charming, it was electric, earning her a Saturn Award nomination and solidifying her place in Hollywood history. But beyond the cape and camera flashes, Margot's life was marked by deeper struggles. Behind the scenes, she battled the demons of bipolar disorder and endured years of financial instability. In 1996, her private pain became heartbreakingly public when a severe mental health crisis left her briefly homeless, wandering the streets of Los Angeles. Yet even in her darkest moments, Margot refused to disappear. She returned to acting, appearing in over 100 projects throughout her career, from cult classics like Black Christmas and the Amityville Horror to a touching guest role on Smallville. Margot Kidder didn't just survive, she spoke out. Her honesty about mental illness helped shift public conversations and shattered stigmas. She became an accidental heroine for many who saw themselves in her battle. When she passed away on May 13, 2018, at the age of 69, it wasn't just the end of an era, it was the farewell to a woman who embodied resilience, authenticity, and fearless talent. Her legacy still burns bright in the hearts of fans who remember not just the character she played, but the powerful woman she truly was. Mindy McCready. Born on November 30, 1975, in Fort Myers, Florida, Mindy McCready shot to stardom in the mid-1990s with breakout country hits like Guys Do It All the Time and 10,000 Angels. With a voice that could soar through heartbreak and a presence that lit up every stage she touched, Mindy was seen as country music's next big thing. For a moment, she had it all: chart success, critical praise, and a devoted fan base. But behind the spotlight was a woman quietly unraveling. Mindy's personal life spiraled into a storm of addiction, abusive relationships, arrests, and bitter custody battles. Her struggles didn't stay private. They played out in headlines, interviews, and courtrooms, each chapter more painful than the last. Despite multiple stints in rehab and hopeful attempts to reclaim her career, the darkness never fully lifted. On February 17, 2013, Mindy McCready died by suicide at just 37 years old, leaving behind 2 young children and a grieving industry. Her death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a wake-up call. A reminder that fame doesn't shield anyone from pain, and that mental health care is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. Mindy's voice may be gone, but her story echoes on, a heartbreaking symbol of how easily talent can be overshadowed by torment, and how desperately compassion is needed when the music fades. Aaron Carter was once the golden boy of early 2000s pop. Born on December 7, 1987, in Tampa, Florida, he skyrocketed to fame as a fresh-faced teen with infectious hits like Aaron's Party, Come Get It, and I Want Candy. With his boyish charm and catchy hooks, he quickly became a heartthrob and teen idol, performing to sold-out crowds and gracing the covers of every youth magazine in America. But behind the bright lights and screaming fans was a darker reality. Aaron's life unraveled as he struggled with addiction, mental health challenges, and legal troubles that derailed his once promising career. He spoke candidly in later years about the demons he battled, his efforts to get clean, his time in rehab, and his desperate attempts to regain control of his life. Despite seeking help and moments of hope, Aaron faced mounting personal losses, financial ruin, family rifts, and public scrutiny that never seemed to let up. On November 5, 2022, the world was stunned to learn he had passed away at just 34 years old. His death ruled an accidental drowning after inhaling difluoroethane and ingesting alprazolam. His story is more than a tragedy. It's a sobering reminder of how fame can amplify pain and how desperately young stars need support, not just spotlight. Behind every chart topper is a human being, often crying for help in silence. Todd Bridges. Born on May 27, 1965, in San Francisco, California, Todd Bridges became a household name in the late 70s when he starred as Willis Jackson on the hit sitcom Diff'rent Strokes, 1978 to 1986. With his charm, wit, and on-screen chemistry with Gary Coleman, Bridges captured hearts across America. But behind the scenes, fame came with a heavy price. As the spotlight grew brighter, so did the shadows. In his teenage years, Bridges began battling substance abuse, an addiction that would spiral into legal trouble, public scandals, and even jail time. For a while, the boy who once lit up TV screens seemed lost in the darkness of his own pain. But Todd Bridges didn't give up. He fought his way back. One day, one step, one choice at a time. Today, he's more than just a former child star. He's a survivor, a speaker, and an advocate for addiction recovery and mental health awareness. Through his honesty and vulnerability, he's helped countless others find the strength to face their own struggles. Still active in film and television, Bridges has turned his platform into a powerful tool for healing and hope. His story is not just about fame, but about redemption, a testament to resilience, second chances, and the courage to rise again. Julia Roberts. Born on October 28, 1967, in the small town of Smyrna, Georgia, Julia Roberts would one day become one of the brightest stars in Hollywood's sky. With that iconic smile and a screen presence that radiates warmth and strength, she stole hearts in unforgettable roles like Pretty Woman, Erin Brockovich, and Ocean's 11. But behind the red carpet glamour and box office hits lies a woman who, like so many, has faced her share of personal storms. Doubt, heartbreak, and pressure have all shadowed her journey, but Julia never let them define her. Instead, she rose above, proving time and again that grace and grit can coexist. Her story isn't just one of stardom, it's a reminder that true success comes not from staying in the spotlight, but from staying true to who you are. Today, she remains not just a beloved actress, but a symbol of resilience, passion, and enduring authenticity. Gary Coleman. Born on February 8, 1968, in Zion, Illinois, Gary Coleman became a household name as the wisecracking Arnold Jackson on the hit sitcom Diff'rent Strokes, which aired from 1978 to 1986. His famous line, "What you talkin' 'bout, Willis?" wasn't just a catchphrase, it became part of pop culture history, and it made Coleman one of the most beloved child stars of all time. But behind that bright smile and quick wit was a life marked by pain. Despite the fame, Coleman battled severe financial setbacks. He fought bitter legal wars against his adoptive parents and former managers, the very people who were supposed to protect him. As he grew older, the roles dried up, the spotlight dimmed, and he found himself drifting from job to job, trying desperately to reclaim his place in a world that had already moved on. On May 28, 2010, Gary Coleman died from a brain hemorrhage at just 42 years old. It was a quiet ending to a life that had once echoed through millions of living rooms. And while Hollywood moved on, fans never forgot the boy who made them laugh, and whose real life was filled with so much sorrow. So the next time you pass someone who looks forgotten, think twice. They might have once been a star, shining bright, then fading too fast. These 15 celebrities remind us that fame doesn't protect you from life's storms. Some lost everything, but others? They clawed their way back from the darkness. Rock bottom isn't always the end. Sometimes, it's where the real story begins. Who do you think quietly fell from grace, only to rise again when no one was watching? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the most unbelievable transformations are the ones you never saw coming.